Hey everyone, welcome. We are at day 6 now of the Starcraft 2 AI 2025 tournament. I am here with Ketrock, hello,
Hey, Grip. How's it going?
and Laughing Games. Welcome back again.
Thank you. I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, sorry, we missed out Laughing Games last week because we moved our stream to the Monday, and unfortunately you couldn't join us. But great to have you back again. Um, yeah, we had some fun games last week. And we are down to the final round. We've so far managed to eliminate 5 bots, and we have 5 bots that have made it to the quarterfinals. 3 more need to be eliminated, and 3 more need to be. Actually, no, I lie. We only have 4 bots that are through because we didn't actually finish the last round last week, and we still have 1 round to go for that. So yeah, I will get up the status of where we are. So tonight's match, first we need to deal with Sharkbot and SharpenedEdge. So that should be a fun one. And then we're going to have ThomTest versus Caninana, 12-pool bot against BenBotBC, and Micro Machine up against the bot that loses that game between Sharkbot and SharpenedEdge.
Right. So very high stake matches this
Yep.
today.
Every single game is win and go through, lose and go out, except for the first one, of course. But it should be a fun one. Anyway, let's take a look at our first bots. Sorry, wrong one.
Sharkbot and SharpenedEdge.
Yeah.
So they're both 2-1.
Yes, so we've got SharpenedEdge.
No elimination here. Whoever wins goes through, which is nice.
Winner goes through. Loser will go into the last game of the night. So SharpenedEdge, see the ninth. Lost to the Minion Dog, but it's come back with victories over BenBotBC and ThomTest. It's been good. And then we have Sharkbot, seed 11. Still, I think that's a very low seeding for Sharkbot. But lost to Zozo, but it's come back strongly by beating Terran and your bot Ketrock. So yeah, it should be a fun game. All right. Let's start it off with our first game.
Wait, he didn't play my bot last week. You 2-0'd someone, but it wasn't me. I think I lost a 12-pool bot, didn't I?
No, that was last week, but this was the week before. Because obviously.
Oh, right. I keep forgetting.
Yeah, Sharkbot and SharpenedEdge are still the last round, so we haven't actually finished up this round yet. Due to me having to sleep early last Monday, so sorry everyone.
Yeah, it would have been a long stream anyways.
Yeah.
Better to even it out a bit with this week's.
All right.
Yeah, let's hop into it.
All right.
Okay, so spawning on the right-hand side of the map, we have the red Protoss Sharkbot. And spawning on the left, we have another Protoss and SharpenedEdge. Both these bot authors are actually also the authors of the framework for their respective programming language. SharpenedEdge author Dr. Impy having being the author of the Sharpie framework, and then in a very similarly titled one, Sharkbot's author is the author of the Sharky framework.
Not confusing.
Just to keep it nice and confusing, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's been cool to see that we have had a couple bots in the tournament built off those frameworks. We do have someone in chat saying that we are quiet, by the way.
I'll try and turn you up a bit. Is that any better?
I guess we'll have to see if someone in chat can let us know.
Yeah. I'm trying to chat and listen to myself at the same time to see how it sounds on stream. To me, it sounds okay.
Well, yeah, we appreciate your guys' feedback on the streams and everything. It's, when you're streaming, it's difficult to know like what's good and what's not good. So
We have a little dancing probe there out of Sharkbot, keeping an eye on the mineral line. As I haven't actually been paying too much attention to this game, what do we have? We do have a Nexus on the way for SharpenedEdge, so there's the first divergence. Let's see if MindMe is correct in his assumption that whoever expands first in PvP loses the game.
It's pretty accurate. Yeah, I think it's pretty darn accurate. Holds true in bot games. Holds true in most pro games, unless it's Max Packs playing.
Yeah. I remember, like, I don't know what the meta is like now in PvP, but for a while I remember it was all like 2-gate expand versus 1-gate expand, like which one's better in the matchup, but
Yeah, it's just it's pretty much the same. I think like if you see someone expanding, odds are you're going to be proxy roboing or 4-gate blinking or something to try and kill them. Yeah, PvP with bots though is very fun to watch. We do have the first expansion coming out of SharpenedEdge. Sharkbot is quite a macro focus bot at times, but it's not necessarily the most greedy bot. However, it does send a probe down to the low ground, so probably going to be expanding itself sometime soon. There it goes.
yeah, interestingly, he made a quick Stargate, but hasn't really been putting it to use, just starting the Oracle now. But it's been finished for a while. I guess he prioritizing getting the Nexus down.
Okay, apparently it's the general stream volume that's a little quiet so everyone sounds quiet.
Ah. Okay, just crank up the desktop volume then on knobs, I guess.
All right, probes for Sharkbot, or pardon me, adepts for Sharkbot are getting some probes of SharpenedEdge, having some good success. And yeah, already picking off a decent number of these. However, SharpenedEdge has got a little bit of a probe lead to burn, so the more damage, the better for Sharkbot, as they, man, bot adepts are just so wonky as they shade all over the place.
Yeah, but I mean, very successful there. That was how many probes then down? 14? Is that what I saw?
16
Oh,
of
the
them.
Oracle as well.
Oh, wow.
Okay,
Sharkbot's
I knew he got a
Oracles.
lot of kills, but I thought it'd be like 6 or 7. But yeah, hitting with the Depths and Oracle at the same time. Very nice coordination there.
Sharkbot's oracles are really, really good at times. Like, I think they must have made some changes at some point to the program because I don't ever remember them getting like as much damage as they have been lately. Like, the harassment is phenomenal. They don't die that often, and so we'll see if it's going to come back in and get some more damage. Like, the thing with bots and Sharkbot's oracles I've seen is like they will be active the entire game and sometimes just cripple bots. Now it's coming back in with very low energy. Just SharpenedEdge though does respond.
Yeah, I mean, there's no blink, so you can definitely come with no energy and just use like a scout. As long as you know, using that bot micro, you should always be able to outrun the stalkers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it used to be like a meme in our community of like how bad oracles always were. Like you would make them, they'd always die and do nothing. But yeah, some bots have really stepped it up. Negative
Yeah.
Zero, Sharkbot in particular.
Yeah, Sharkbot's oracles are really, really good, and it's making good use of all the space on Automaton. I mean, the oracle comes back on in to get some harassment done, killing off quite a few probes. SharpenedEdge is sort of trying to macro out of its worker losses by taking a quick third base, so that will definitely help it reestablish that probe count, although the losses definitely hurt.
Yeah, but I mean, not much in the way of units for SharpenedEdge. I think that third base is actually a big mistake because he doesn't even have the probe count to saturate 2 bases yet. And what is he on, like 2 Stalkers and 4 Zealots? That could be a problem if Sharkbot decides to push out here. Oracle's still dipping in.
Yeah, it looks like
that middle line
Sharkbot
is open to him.
It looks like Sharkbot is going to move out for an attack. We'll see just how aggressive it is, if it will potentially turn around or not. SharpenedEdge sees this coming. Got Blink relatively close to finishing up, but not done in time for this fight. And so now we've got Zealots and Stalkers on the low ground for SharpenedEdge, getting melted from the high ground by Void Rays of Sharkbot.
Yeah, that prismatic alignment's really paying dividends here. just making those stalkers disappear. And unfortunately, with all that economic damage from earlier, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to recover here.
Yeah, well done to Sharkbot well done to the bot author for having that programmed in for their bot to go for a nice attack. I don't know what the parameters are for Sharkbot to say, hey, yeah, let's go for an attack, but definitely is the right decision here as SharpenedEdge is in quite a bit of trouble. It's got 1 army supply, so unless Sharkbot majorly glitches out or something, I think SharpenedEdge is probably dead.
Yeah, I mean, like, adding a Robo Bay and Zealot Legs and a Forge and a 3rd Nexus all while having no army. Unfortunately, I think SharpenedEdge's build is probably reliant on not losing half of his probes, so the build kind of got all wonky when his economy got turned off. Does get a Colossus out immediately. Well, I was supposed to say immediately dies, but didn't.
Yeah,
even
there's
Tempest,
my
wow.
mothership.
Every Stargate unit. This should show me carrier before the game ends. Yeah, oracles are tough to program because you don't get much information about their weapon in the Blizzard API.
Oh, okay.
And then also their movement is kind of weird. They turn really slowly unless you do like a full 180, then they're able to do a full 180.
Interesting.
Wow, it's a
that
fun
is
game.
good to know.
Yeah. Just a bit too much worker losses there for SharpenedEdge, I think.
Yeah, nice coordinated attack though with the Adepts and Oracle hitting 2 different bases at the same time. Even tricked us.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us even noticed the Oracle doing ham in the main.
No, I didn't either. I was like looking at it going like, oh shit. And then it's like 14 losses or something. It's like, that's crazy. Very difficult to recover from. But yeah. Yeah, hopefully
Yeah,
the
sure.
stream volume is slightly louder now. I'm not sure if that's good enough. I think that's as loud as it goes. So if you're not hearing us well, just turn your PC speakers up or something. Sorry about that. But yeah, so let's have a look at game 2.
Yeah, I don't seem to have an issue on my end. It
No.
might be. Was it just Demon Fiend or?
I don't know.
ThomTest was saying that it was quiet too. Same with Trent Best. So multiple people, but
Yeah, but I think it's fine. Red Disc says it's fine.
Okay,
I
well,
don't know. Maybe try reloading the stream, guys. Maybe
yeah.
might be on.
Hopefully.
I don't know. Might be some glitch.
All right, let's go with game 2.
all right.
All right, so spawning up in the top left-hand position, we have a Sharkbot up 1-0. This one more win, and he will be going into the quarterfinals. Meanwhile, in the bottom right, we have SharpenedEdge. So, larger map this time. I think that can favor maybe the earlier expand of SharpenedEdge. Might be harder for Sharkbot to put on pressure.
Yeah, Thunderbird is an interesting map because it can really mess with some of the logic with bots. For example, like a lot of bots are programmed to defend at their 3rd base, but that to sort of park their army if they take a 3rd base at their 3rd, it seems. But then on Thunderbird, then the natural's just completely exposed.
Yeah.
So
I've even seen some bots expand to the 3rd thinking it's their natural, because
yeah,
on the mini-map, technically it's closer to your main base, so if you're not looking at pathing, you might think that's your natural base.
Yeah, and then
all
sort
that
of
stuff has to be calculated, so.
Sort of the same thing with the 5th base as well. Like, because of that wacky mineral wall between sort of at the 6 o'clock position, you get, I've even seen bots expand to like the little 5-10 mineral nodes, thinking that it's a base. So
that's not good. Technically, those are different types of mineral patches, because like they have a different name because they only have like 15 minerals or 25 minerals on them.
Yeah.
So I would hope the frameworks are smart enough not to consider those an actual base to expand to.
Yeah, I can't remember. I think it was a Protoss bot that I've seen do that. So maybe we'll see that too. Who knows?
What's interesting are those bases that you can expand to either side of it. Like you can be at one side that might be like better suited for it, but the other side will have a gas geyser. Trying to think of an example. There's a couple maps that are that way. So it's interesting to see like which side the bots prefer to go to on those types of bases. Once again, we do have an earlier expand out of SharpenedEdge. And a Stargate's out of Sharkbot. I mean, technically, typically, I mean, Stargate's not the way to punish a fast expand, as it's the least all-in-y of the tech options, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can do some Void Ray shenanigans of like you proxy to Stargate, but yeah, you're 100% right. Like all Protoss has to do is throw down a battery in each mineral line, and then they're fine from Oracle harassment. So
Yeah, so I think if SharpenedEdge can, keep from losing all those probes, that he'll be like in a really good spot. And even if he loses like 8 or 9 probes, I think he's still in a pretty good spot. We're going to see
yeah,
a repetition of last game.
yeah, and that's why like changing the map can vary the results so much because the Oracle pathing could be different, less dead space, that kind of thing.
Okay. But yeah, SharpenedEdge does make quite a few zealots early on, which is probably not the greatest thing. I mean, if you're getting all in, it's nice to kind of spend your money on whatever you can. But typically, you want to build 0 zealots, especially in this matchup. And they're not going to help much against the Oracle, that's for sure. So once again, not missing it this time. We do have Oracles and Adepts. Adepts already in the natural line. Probes being evacuated.
Zealots are actually killing the Adepts fairly quickly, so SharpenedEdge has still got a 5-worker lead. All it's got to do now is respond to the Oracle. However, it is losing quite a few more probes prior to responding to that, which is very unfortunate.
Yeah, and no response out of the Stalkers.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Sharkbot, with its Oracle control being so good these days, may force some bots to get some updates in the future because these Oracles really get a lot of damage, and it's one of those things if you don't program some sort of catch for that, whether it be like a battery or a cannon or just good defending behavior, you'll get punished pretty hard by an Oracle very quickly. So
Yeah, and I think like SharpenedEdge is one of those bots that really hasn't been had any functionality updates in a really, really long time, like years.
yeah,
So last time he was playing, like seriously, there were no oracles in the bot scene.
yeah,
If they existed, no one was making them. So he may not even have anything programmed to deal with them because like technically oracles don't have a weapon; they only have an ability. So if you're just using like generic code, like attack enemy army units, it may not even be considered an army unit there.
right.
But this time the stalkers do come back into the main base.
Yeah, it is interesting that there is like some defensive behavior that's kind of catching this, but it's just not quite quick enough. So SharpenedEdge, it's got that third base up. Notably, Sharkbot does take its own third base, so it's I don't think it took a third in the previous match. I want to say.
Yeah, I don't believe so either. Although I'm not 100% on that actually. We might have been focusing on the death of SharpenedEdge last game while the third was being taken.
Yeah, it is looking pretty similar. We've got Blink on the way for SharpenedEdge, and we've got that Fleet Beacon on the way for Sharkbot.
Yeah, so many zealots out.
Yeah,
makes...
they're a little strange. SharpenedEdge kind of just plays this sort of averaging style where it'll just make just a fairly rounded composition, nothing really reactionary, it seems. It is trying to chase away that Oracle. Does a good job, pushes it away. SharpenedEdge is at 41 workers compared to the 45 of Sharkbot, so it's not in a terrible, terrible economic position or anything.
I'll be interested to see how Sharkbot's Oracle play works out if we get updated to the newest balance patch. Because Energy Overcharge has turned Oracles into like absolute beasts on the human ladder. Basically having these infinite energy Oracles out on the map at all times. Big attack coming in. Actually, a lot more zealots than Sharkbot will be able to handle on the ground. However, with a couple Void Rays out, those Stalkers are not going to do very well. And Zealot
Yeah.
legs are just beginning now, so
Slow zealots
great.
can endlessly be kited. So yeah, that is very unfortunate for SharpenedEdge.
yeah, that's why Blink confused me. Like, he's like, okay, you got 2 Stalkers and like 15 Zealots. Like, why aren't we going for charge at least?
Yeah, the composition for SharpenedEdge is not very reactionary, which when playing against like a air composition is somewhere that really struggles. And now we're seeing it make a Colossus when there's Tempest being produced by Sharkbot.
Yeah.
So that is not very good.
Nice focus fire out of SharpenedEdge, however. He was able to pick off like all 3 units that are in the red there. So somehow able to trade 3 Stalkers for 3, even though he was attacking into like 15 units. But yeah, like you said, no answer for this Void Ray or Tempest.
In fact, SharpenedEdge seems to just be completely making Zealots and not rebuilding any Stalkers, which is quite interesting, that's for sure.
Yeah, it feels like a bug, because he's got so much gas. I was gonna think, okay, maybe because he hasn't taken any gas geysers yet, but it's like, no, he's facing air units, he has tons of gas, and he's prioritizing Zealots.
Yeah, maybe that is a bug.
He does have charge now, though, so these Zealots are actually getting a lot of work done.
They are. It's
if you kill all the Stalkers, that still leaves Zealots against air units, which isn't great.
it's never great now, and so quite unfortunate, because who knows, maybe if SharpenedEdge did make lots of Stalkers instead of all these Zealots, it might have had success picking off the Tempest and Void Rays with its Blink, but it's just gonna die, so yeah, now it makes a single Stalker, which is a little bit comical. I wonder if it's just like a build thing by the bot author, where they're like, yeah, this amount of Stalkers is probably enough, or what?
Yeah, not sure. I mean, obviously the goal of this build is probably to try to get up to Charge Lock Colossus, and maybe there's just not enough adjustments built into it for dealing with a sky army like this.
Yeah, so it looks like Sharkbot advances to the finals. Well, to the playoffs.
Yeah. I'm also a little confused why SharpenedEdge used the same build as well. The one thing SharpenedEdge definitely has from the past, I remember, is a lot of builds built into it. Maybe it wasn't collecting data. Maybe it didn't realize that it lost the previous game.
Yeah, maybe not. So that is SharpenedEdge, or SharpenedEdge will be playing again later today.
Yeah.
It'll be playing against Micro Machine, which should be a good match.
Yep, that should be a fun one. That's coming up last tonight, just to give SharpenedEdge a bit of a rest. You know, because these bots get tired if they face 2 matches in a row. So, you know, I thought we better give him a rest, you know, more to give. But yes, Sharkbot does advance to the quarterfinals tonight. We'll be doing the draw for that immediately after with my famous bunnies in the tin. So stick around for that. But yeah, so let's have a look. So next
So
up,
what I'm noticing is people on Twitch, I think, are saying the volume was fine, and people on the YouTube stream are saying it's too quiet.
Yeah, I sent you a message. The only thing I could think of that would possibly cause that would be the restream program, maybe. If there's like volume options for that. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't see
I don't know
any.
how you guys feel about getting the VOD split up, but maybe we could just restart the stream. That seems like a weird.
We can do.
I don't.
But it's entirely
Yeah,
up to
that's weird. That doesn't seem like that would fix it. So
yeah.
Okay.
Also, that does
that...
involve me uploading like large files to YouTube as well afterwards, because I have to rejoin them all together. So it's up to you guys. We can if you want.
Yeah.
But,
I'm not really bothered. People can just crank the volume. Maybe just have a look in the restream program and see if it can be turned
There's
up.
a volume
there.
dial per stream, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know
there
exists,
may be.
but
Like that's literally the only reason I can think that an identical stream going out would have 2 different results as far as audio, unless YouTube's being silly for some reason. But I don't know. Tech is always fun.
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be any settings specifically in there. I'm just looking at that now. But
Which site is it that you're using?
restream.io. So,
Okay, now Henrik in the YouTube stream seems to think it's okay. So it's
uh,
same with Fishbots. Okay, yeah, I don't know then.
okay.
Let's keep going.
Yeah, let's just keep
Sorry to
going,
those who are
guys.
suffering, but
Apologies, yeah.
it seems outside of our control.
Yeah,
It's working for some and not for others.
we'll
Yeah, I
do
get a
the best
feeling
we
it's
can.
the I get a feeling it's the restreamer. Someone's making a Reddit post complaining about weird bugs with the program. Anyway. Oh yeah, just watch on Twitch, guys, if it's too quiet, or crank your volume.
All right.
Like 2 people on YouTube just said it's okay for them. So it seems like user specific almost.
Okay.
Yeah,
Who
who
knows?
knows?
Don't know. Anyway, next up we have. Oh, hold on. We have. 1 second. If I get that up, that's not showing properly. Ah, yes, we have Caninana.
All right.
So it's the first of our winning you're in, losing you're out games. Caninana.
And Caninana lost, didn't it, to ThomTest?
Yeah. So this is a rematch. Caninana lost the first game in an upset against ThomTest, but looking to set the record straight tonight. And yeah, 0-1 versus ThomTest. Beat 12 pool bots and Micro Machine before losing out to Zozo. That saw Zozo go through last week. And he'll be facing off against ThomTest, RC 12. Yes, I still feel bad for ThomTest because this is a second rematch, and it's a rematch
it's
that
only
he
played
won.
2 bots, right?
Three. It's played Dominion Dog as well, so it's Caninana
Oh, right,
-0,
yeah.
Dominion Dog -0. So it's basically just going like its entire series in reverse. So it's like Caninana -0, Dominion Dog -0, Caninana. So yeah, but no change in the update in the bots. So
I think there being no updates is probably a very good thing for ThomTest. So.
yeah, and
Yeah, but if I recall correctly, that was a very close game where ThomTest's initial push was really shut down by Caninana, then the follow-up push broke through.
yeah,
So
It was.
I could
Yeah.
say even if they play exactly the same, I could see this going either way.
yeah,
And it's the
definitely.
best of 3. And Caninana definitely has beaten ThomTest before, I've seen. So, like, it very well could go either way.
Yeah. All right, let's get into it.
Let's go. Yeah, thanks everyone for tuning into this, and big thanks to Crypt for organizing this as always. Make sure to follow the Twitch guys if you haven't already, and click the thumbs up button and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so spawning up in the top left, we have Caninana, the previous ProBots champion. Very well-developed bot. And the bottom right, we have ThomTest, the Red Terran, a much newer bot, but with a pretty killer bio push. His face some of the basically he's had a bad lineup. He's faced
Oh yeah.
basically all bots, and he's still in the tournament. So that's really impressive.
Yep. Top Zerg, top Protoss, and top Terran. One of the top Terran bots. So it, has had a very very rough run, but who knows? If I'd be really excited to see if ThomTest moves on to the next round, whether the bot author would make some adjustments to try and I don't know, maybe snipe its opponents, but we'll see. As I think we all know what's going to happen in this match. So.
Yeah, I mean, even if he gets eliminated, I'd be pretty proud of the results of this first tournament.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's safe to say that ThomTest is probably the best one basing bot we have right now.
Yeah, I do like how he plays bio too. That's kind of been neglected by the Terran bots, who often prefer like the Sky armies and the mech units.
Yeah.
But yeah, really committing to just a strong bio ball can be really good as well. So Overlord cutting across the map. We'll soon find out that he's up against a one basing Terran. I don't think Caninana has anything opponent specific, so he's not going to be like blind countering a one base build. He'll need to scout it first. First couple lings also coming across to check it out. I think. It's hard to see what's on the minimap. Or is that an SCV scout? Another one ling. Okay.
Yeah, Caninana sees Marines. Prints its roach tag, so it will be building those roaches.
Yeah, if you can get to burrowed roaches, that's pretty strong against everything on defense. Sometimes it bites you in the ass though if you're trying to defend with lings and spine crawlers, and at the same time you're also teching to roaches and burrow. It's just you're spending too much money on too many different things, and they all then runs you over. Yeah. So
And
it can be
while,
good or it cannot be good. It all depends on the scenario.
yeah, and ThomTest does have so much damage with its bio balls that it can actually kill those roaches before they burrow sometimes. So
Yeah, that's a major factor as well. That is one of the strongest things the bot scene though, is the roach burrow. Not only can you like use bot micro to like keep those units alive, but the healing rates of roaches when they're burrowed is absolutely insane, and it only gets higher when you get burrowed movement.
yeah, well, it's one of those things like you so rarely see roach burrow and that kind of thing you so rarely see it in like pro play, but then it's like a massive part of bot matches. So
Yeah. I remember learning that in like one of my very first games of 2v2 when I was playing 2v2 on the ladder. My opponent was my partner was Zerg, and I realized my Medivacs couldn't heal burrowed roaches. You can heal any other burrowed unit, but not burrowed roaches. And then I found out it's because the healing rate of Medivacs is slower than the natural healing rate of roaches when they're burrowed.
really, that's
Yeah.
crazy. Because like, didn't it used to even be higher, the burrowed roach healing rate? I want to say.
Well, it's higher than the Medivac, and then it gets even higher if you get roach burrow movement, which is another upgrade.
Does does that actually affect the healing rate? I thought it was the same, regardless of movement.
I mean, it used to be that way. I don't know. It's been many years since I've last checked it.
Yeah,
But
because like I think they might have nerfed the healing rate at some point, but anyway, we've got ThomTest going for a push. Caninana has got all these spine crawlers up at the front. ThomTest is just trying to crash the gate. The spines are soaking lots of damage. Roaches are burrowing. This looks pretty good for Caninana. However, it loses a queen, losing quite a few lings as ThomTest kites back against this. The burrowed roaches are getting their efficiency, and the third is being worked on by ThomTest, so it's probably going to be able to kill that.
yeah, but burrowed roach is complete. Losing the third's not a big deal. He just needs to fight with the spines. I like that he's choosing to do that. It is hard to fight with the spines though, because as soon as you push out, ThomTest will start kiting backwards.
Yeah.
Nice use of scan to deal with those burrowed units. But of course, the scan is a potentially 225 minerals, which is a big deal to a bio player every time you don't mule.
Yeah, it really is, and this looks like a pretty good defense so far for Caninana. As ThomTest has been cleaned up on the first round, however, now it's going to be building to the second round of attack. That's one of the very cool things for ThomTest.
I still remember in week 1 we were complimenting Caninana after he held the first one.
Yeah, exactly. So
let's do remember that Caninana has not been droning much, and he did lose the third base. So it's not like he has this like super strong follow-up under a huge economy. Even though ThomTest is only on one base, he may still outgun Caninana as he arrives.
Oh yeah. Well, ThomTest is going to have 1/1. It's got quite a large bio ball, definitely enough to one-shot the roaches, I think. So
and combat shields, which is a major upgrade.
Yeah, it definitely is.
The spines are still pretty weak. We got some lings and roaches still under production.
This is why you gotta love ThomTest. It's just such good execution. Like, not a lot of bots do they fail like the first round of an all-in, and the second one looks just as scary or even more scary. And now Caninana's got a brace. It's got 10 roaches, 46 lings to defend. The ThomTest is starting to attack these spine crawlers. It's kiting back against the lings to try and deal with them. The 1-1 upgrade's definitely helping out against those lings, but Caninana does seem to be pushing this back pretty effectively.
Yeah, he literally did not make a single drone between those two attacks. He only has 25 drones, but I guess that's enough to at least keep pace with ThomTest's economy. And he just put everything into like mostly lings and a few roaches. The king is upgrades of his own, I believe, as well. I think I saw an Evo chamber go down earlier. So once again, I'm getting pushed back, and ThomTest has probably got like one more big push out of him before he starts losing. Well, okay, he did just lose 4 mineral patches. So,
Oh dear.
yeah, this is going to probably be the biggest attack left. Oh no, okay, he's lost 1 patch and is about to lose 2 more. So this will probably be the last big attack out of ThomTest. Maybe 1 more, and then he's going to start being the unit trickle as he loses the economy.
Yeah. Caninana has also squeezed out a few drones, so it's gradually improving its situation. It really just needs to defend this attack. ThomTest is kiting back, but there's so many roaches now for Caninana, and
yeah, Burrow Roach movement now, and yeah, those things do heal super fast. They're already over half health from being in the red.
yeah, definitely not something Blizzard definitely didn't have bots in mind when it made those burrowed roaches, but really great defense by Caninana, it seems. A scan by ThomTest, but like, there's so many roaches, queens, spines. I think we're probably looking at a Caninana victory for the first game.
Yeah, it's definitely looking that way. It is kind of interesting though how well balanced the game is even for bots. Like there's certain things that are like completely overpowered, but they're kind of balanced out. Like Zerg, like creep spread and injecting, and this Burrowed Roach stuff is unbelievably powerful, but their late game is just not as good as Terran or Protoss, and is very difficult to code as well. So it balances out pretty well, where it's not like some OP tactic where one race is the best, but it's usually like whatever bot author created the best bot ends up being the best.
Yeah, that's definitely true, and that's why these bot games are so exciting to watch. Now, ThomTest just unable to contend with the immortal roaches. He's gonna keep trying to push, but it will not have success here, I think.
And I think this time it's not untrue for me to say he's down to 4 mineral patches. So yeah, his economy is basically cut in half. I kind of like the Ling heavy style too. I figured with both with the burrowed roaches you've invested in, it would be better to make just pure roach, but the Lings end up actually working quite well. It makes those marauders pretty useless.
I think Caninana used to be more roach heavy, but then the bot author did. I want to say they tweaked it to build more lings, or at least that's what it seems like.
Yeah, plus speedlings on creep makes the kiting of Terran kind of, not so useful because lings are just so much faster, so much incredibly faster. Yeah, so this is just looking great for Caninana, getting a full 3-base economy, 4th on the way. ThomTest is just kind of waiting to die, has his 2 mineral patches left. Going to do one more push, take the fight to him, why not?
Just wait till ThomTest gets its next update and it's all of a sudden macroing with ghosts.
I did notice that Zozo is actually macroing on the ladder.
Oh, that's great to see.
Yeah. I realized I've never seen a game in my bot faces, his zealot flower of his gateway flower, his zealot all in proxy. So I wanted to see what he's doing on the ladder, and he's actually just macroing.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Zozo is a bot that's really improved with its macro, and like I remember the first time I saw it, it was like I want to say that it was like 1-2 base all inning and expanding was very much an afterthought and getting upgrades and stuff, but it's gradually shifted focus a little bit more.
Well, for the longest time, building a gateway was an afterthought for him. He had all these different variants of probe all-ins.
I don't think I was quite around during then, but anyway.
Oh, he was like the best Scourge that we had. He was like making like Final Four and like Pro Bots tournaments just with pro ball ins. Which is one of those things that's also very overpowered in the bot scene. You
Oh
know,
yeah,
because of the way shield regen works, if you just always keep your probes alive, you can kind of kill infinite enemy workers in a way. In theory, anyways. Caninana with his mass overseer, which
yeah.
doesn't seem like much, but he always pokes in from all sides with the overseers, which not only gives him like amazing knowledge of what he's up against, like what bases your opponent has, what army he has, but also distracts your enemy army so badly.
Yeah, and then the
It's like you try
changeling
to peel off to kill these overseers, but speed overseers is not a whole lot of units in the game that can chase them down easily. So
No, definitely
very
not. Like,
distracting. You
if
got
you ever
Lings
watch,
distracting, and yeah.
if you ever watch through Caninana's vision, like with the overseers, you can see that it just sort of pokes in, just gets the vision, pokes out, keeping them alive basically forever.
And I actually see it low in energy too. So, well, I guess he uses changelings as for
Yeah.
extra vision as well. But I was wondering, like, since he makes so many overseers, if he's maybe consider adding in what do they call it, contaminate.
Contaminate, yeah, would be something that would be cool to see. Um, I think we'll probably see more and more of that in the future, at least maybe even in pro games, because like it's become meta for at least Rogue, one of the best Zerg players in the world, to he's building like 50 overseers in TVZ and spamming changelings into Turtle Terran bases just to
I
have
have seen
vision
that.
for Nidus. It's
That's like he
phenomenal.
wrecked Clem with that. Like
Yeah,
that's
and
how it became popular. I remember he just destroyed Clem after Clem was destroyed Cyril. So it's like, oh, okay, this is interesting.
Yeah, it's such a rogue thing to do, and like I've done 3 tournaments in a row now, which he's destroyed. I think he beat the Unfirst with it, then Bunny, and then last night he lost the series, but he did beat Kieran. Caninana wins this one.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, like,
I think,
it always has been thoughts for like late game Zerg play because it is a spellcaster for 0 supply. So
yeah,
once you're
Yeah,
pulling up resources, it is something to always consider.
definitely.
yeah. Well, it's like to
I've,
what extent will this get exploited? Will we have to see overseers have increased cost or take up a supply or something like that?
yeah,
I don't know.
I think there we were just waiting for Caninana to max out on 200 supply as well. So yeah,
It's a
that's one thing Caninana doesn't do so well is work out when he's in such a commanding position. He should just fish across the map and win. But yeah, no, well played by Caninana there.
It's a
Yeah.
very, very Caninana thing to do to wait till it hits 200 supply before
Yeah,
it's
If you think
confident
about
enough
it
to
though,
hit.
like if you're ahead and you decide to attack, that will almost never increase your win rates, but it could cause you to lose the game.
It's
So it's
true.
one of those things. It's kind of like teaching your bot when to GG. It's like that will never help your win rate, but it could cause you to lose a game that you weren't actually losing.
sure.
So
Yep.
it's to me, it's like low priority.
Yeah,
That's why
definitely.
bots are often a little bit more defensive than they have to be.
Yeah,
But
Oh yeah, no, I think it's very, very reasonable and not a fault at all. Like,
yeah. All right,
it's definitely good to have. But it's probably on low priority for some people.
let's have a look at game 2.
Okay, so spawning on the left-hand side, we're on Automaton quite a bit actually. I do like this map because I don't play it myself. It is the Red Terran ThomTest, down 0-1. Caninana spawning on the right, looking to move on to the quarterfinals if you can win this one. Yeah.
Tom in chat saying not automaton, not like this. So he may know how his bot does on automaton.
Well, it's got to be a long rush distance, right? It just looks like a big map.
Yeah, and then the high ground can really mess with bots too. So
Yeah, there is that little island of high ground. Although Zerg can't really exploit that too much. They can't like throw a siege tank on the edge of that high ground or something along those lines.
no, that's true.
But Trying to think why Tom would not like this map so much. I guess probably just the rush distance.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm rush distance. Like when thinking about the factors of what would make ThomTest beat Caninana, it's got to be like, well, I guess maybe if it shuts down Caninana's scout, like Ling's running up the ramp dying before they get vision, maybe that would delay Caninana's reaction or something. But then, yeah, I don't know.
The other odd thing about this map is that the main base is actually quite large. So if you built like your production behind your mineral line, like up at the top there, that actually adds a significant amount of delay to your crossing the map. You're adding like another 15 seconds for like each unit to get across the map. Luckily, ThomTest is building most of his near the ramp, so you won't suffer from that. I'm actually one of those bots who really likes to put my production like far away from the ramp just to keep my opponent in the dark. But yeah, I actually noticed like I build my factories up in the north part of my base. It just ruins my attack timings.
So starports to the north of the base is fine. Factories not so much.
Yeah. Fourth barracks going down here. +1 has started. And the Overlord and the Ling will arrive around the same time to see that they're facing one base. Zerg, although he didn't. Well, I don't know whose vision this replay is from, but I noticed he didn't tag that he was up against Marines this time. Is this Overlord going to commit suicide? Looks like it will. That's also a little different.
Definitely changed the result of this, that's for sure.
Okay, so I'm guessing we're not seeing Caninana's chat tags because, you know, he did see like 5 barracks. He should know what he's up against. If he doesn't,
building
that's
roaches.
a bug in there.
Spine crawlers are on the way.
Last time he saw no expansion and just one reactor barracks, and that was enough for him to say, hey, I'm up against Mass Marine. And there are the spine crawlers coming up, so yeah. That's definitely not something that Caninana does normally. That is reactive to facing an all-in.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where Caninana expands to as well, because depending on the pathing, ThomTest might not even find the third base, which it has benefited from killing in the past. So
I think one thing bot authors of Zerg do is just keep a Ling hanging outside the main base when you get all in, and only start your spine crawlers when you see them move out. Because I think you probably have enough time to get them up before the bio would cross the entire map.
Spine crawlers take a long time to build.
Yeah, but like, is it over a minute? Because you get about a minute.
Okay.
They are much longer than spore crawlers. I remember that much, but. Like in Brood War, you get to put down like the base, whatever unit is, and then you upgrade it to a sunken colony when they cross the map. So if only they had that mechanic here, where you could just build their cheap base unit. Because it's actually a big deal. Like this is like a full minute of not mining with those 3 drones.
Yeah, like
not only do you spend the money early, but you lose a drone by doing so. So delaying those spines even a little bit would be really helpful.
Yeah, it's a big design choice by Caninana. The bot author often makes decisions to prioritize safety over economy to an extreme measure. So, all right, here goes ThomTest though.
Yep, Lings and Roaches are on the production tab. 3 spines are out. And the spines are now blocking like the Lings this time, which is nice.
ThomTest looks like you're digging into trouble. Oh boy.
Yeah. This is a really nice setup actually for Caninana. Like last map, the spines are actually in the way of the roaches, and not so much here. Burrow is already done before the first attack, so
yeah,
these roaches are not dying, even with a couple marauders in the back.
The bot author knew what they were talking about when they said that automaton wasn't the map.
Yeah, long rush distance and just like a perfect layout for the defense. Oh, even the roaches accidentally trapping the marauders. That was not designed that way, but they just happened to fully regenerate when the marauders are on the wrong side. So of the 4 matches we've seen between these two bots, that's probably the cleanest hold we've seen out of Caninana. And now we have the Burrow Roach movement coming up, and that probably won't be done in time for the second attack, but definitely will be done in time for the third.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see how much the results can differ. Like, these bots were not updated at all since they previously played, and now Caninana is looking very, very good.
Yeah, it's really weird that way with bot games. Even when you have like two like very, very basic bots playing each other, every game can end up like drastically different than the previous game.
Yeah.
And you can't even like figure out why. Even if you like examine the replays, like why did this go well for the bot this team and not the previous one? It's like
Yeah,
everything
there's
kind of looked the same, just
well,
worked out well
yeah,
this time.
there's so many little things. It's like Caninana lost an Overlord this game, yet the defense looked even better than in the previous one. So it's like little things add up, but then they don't always necessarily matter. And all right, ThomTest tries again. 54 army supply going up against 48.
Yeah, even a lot of creep spread, so there's a lot of vision. Although I guess the overseer's keeping tabs on him the entire time, anyways.
Okay, 1-1 bio gonna do what it can, kiting back against these Lings and Roaches. Caninana is retreating into its main base momentarily, so it is a little bit afraid as the pathing here does allow ThomTest to break through the natural, and Caninana can struggle on ramps against ThomTest.
Yeah. We've seen this before. Okay, so now all of a sudden, like, even if he cleans this up, the next attack is going to be difficult because Caninana is back to one base again. And that's if he cleans that up. He does have the Burrow Roach movement, so that's actually a massive deal. However, if he never decides to attack, then this Bio Ball is just going to walk in and kill both bases. He needs to commit to the attack at some point.
The lane count is being whittled down. Caninana is down to 18 workers. ThomTest pushing up the ramp may have a bit of a hard time, though, as there's a beautiful concave for the Zerg. But Caninana is doing that thing where it retreats, maybe a little bit too much. Roach Warren is potentially going to go down, and it does.
Oh, and I think that was Burrow Roach when he canceled.
Yeah, and now the next
wave...
wave...
No, the Roaches are moving, so it must have been Roach speed he canceled.
The next wave is rolling up for ThomTest. The spawning pool is close to going down. The rest of the bio is here. Like, it's fighting Roaches on the low ground. Oh man, Caninana may actually lose this game.
Yeah, and half the Roaches like ran out of the base and didn't even fight the second wave. They just ran out and died.
Yeah, ThomTest just needs to kill. Is it just that one extractor that's left? Yeah, GG. Oh my gosh.
Oh, well played, ThomTest. Yeah, that was crazy. Like, I'm not sure if Caninana crashed at the end or if it just GG'd out. So I think it just GG'd out. It's like, nah, screw it. But
no,
yeah.
it got eliminated. That was the extractor was his last structure.
Oh, was it? I thought it happened on a base.
So.
Damn, I didn't see that. Oh, okay.
Yeah, huge army, but no structures left.
Ah, yeah. No, GG. Wow. Nice one, ThomTest. Let's have a look at the final game there. I mean, that first hold, though, it was perfect, you know?
Oh, I know. Yeah, it's just... We were literally talking about it right before. It's like, it's hard to tell sometimes why a game goes one way. Maybe the ramp, and I guess just the pathing of Caninana to decide to retreat up that ramp was quite detrimental.
Yeah. I think the weird thing is in that match, we should actually watch the income tab next game, but I think ThomTest probably has a larger economy than Caninana, even though Caninana is on two bases.
Yeah.
Because it's like 25 drones versus probably 24 SCVs with mules. Like, that favors the Terran, so...
Definitely.
The defensive advantage, obviously, of Caninana, but still not much of a... Like, not a typical two base versus one base scenario in terms of economy.
All right, well, let's have a look at game 3 then.
Okay, we are on Interloper this time, and I think if last map was bad for ThomTest, I feel like this one's got to be good for him. This feels like the bases look bigger on the mini map, which makes me think this map is smaller, so it should be a faster rush distance. And yeah, spawning up in the top left-hand side, you know, the winner of this match does go on. It is the blue Zerg Caninana.
Yeah, it's crazy how this is the match point. in an elimination match between these two. Like we could see Caninana getting taken out by the one base wonder.
All right, I was thinking like it was we're still doing the previous round. No, yeah, this is whoever wins goes on, whoever loses goes out.
Yeah,
Forgot about
both
that.
these
Yeah.
bots are 2-2.
Okay.
Tom saying I don't think Caninana's 12 pool without using it for anything helps the eco either. Yeah, it definitely doesn't. That's one of the biggest design choices by Caninana's author that does hurt its economy.
It is tough for Zerg, like both for bots and human players, is that their production is shared between workers and army. So like, yeah, they can build their economy faster than anyone else, but they have to decide: am I building a drone or am I building, a roach? There's always a decision on the larva. If you go too far one direction or the other, you lose the game. So I'm sure there's plenty of times that staying on 25 drones has saved Caninana's ass against all ends.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah,
it's a design choice, right? Like Caninana has some of the best late game, so it can make those early game sacrifices as long as it survives. And it does most of the time.
I'd love to see him set to 30 though, because like if you're on 30 workers, that definitely gives you an economic advantage against a one basing player. So you don't have to go up to 40 or 50 workers, but 30 is enough to keep you ahead economically against an all-in.
Yeah.
25 though, it's just like, ooh, one attack goes badly, you're in trouble.
You do have a point about that with like you talked about the spine crawlers earlier as well. Like they were fairly early to hurt the economy, those 3 drones. But then also like ThomTest is a bot that waits a reasonable amount of time before it pushes out. Like other bots I imagine rush and hit earlier than ThomTest. So like the spines being that early are probably a good thing overall, but specifically against ThomTest, maybe not. So
yeah, it's also probably a generic response to any one base all in. So obviously someone like in a ZVZ, they can like Zerg can cross the map faster than spine crawlers can build.
Yeah.
But specifically against Terran, you're not going to get across the map quickly with bio without stim or without medevacs. So I think you have the time to wait, like wait until you spot them moving out, and then throw down 3 or 4 spines.
Yeah, I guess that would be something you could. It would be a lot of work, but you could program into like make your defense timing sort of dynamic, depending on like past results or what you scout. So. Anyway, we do have Caninana investing in roaches, spine crawlers already. One of the spine crawlers is notably in the back.
Yeah, interesting positioning this time.
And it's just 2. It's not 3 like previously, so we'll see if that third gets thrown down.
Oh, a different tag as well. Last time he tagged bio, this time he tags marauders. So he probably thinks he's facing like a marauder all in, maybe something similar to what Micro Machine does. So, I mean, I don't know who's the favorites, but this could either be good news or bad news for ThomTest, as he's probably going to be facing something slightly different out of
Looks
ThomTest
like
here.
Caninana is just spamming lings, not making the extra spine crawler. And ThomTest, I think, is going to do quite all right against lings, so...
Yeah, I mean, he is building mass units, so it's not like he's like droning up a third base or something. So
yeah,
at least the tag means like I'm still going to play defensive.
These are plus
one thing I like about lings is that Caninana often commits to the attack when he has a lot of lings.
Yeah.
So that and that's helpful when he kind of dives in and dives back. It's not so great.
Yeah, Alaire gets fired up for Caninana. However, we'll see if it elects to retreat up that ramp like it did previously. No, it is pushing down the ramp. ThomTest pulls back. Getting a lot of those lings, though. And now the spine crawler's under fire. A good concave for ThomTest on that spine. Caninana's retreating up the ramp, and it looks like ramps maybe Caninana's kryptonite as it just pulls its units back up.
Yeah, as nice as this layout was in the previous game, it's like the opposite this time. The spines are fighting one at a time, like they're blocking the ramp.
Yeah, ThomTest pokes up the ramp, then retreats down it, which turns a bad fight into a good one. And it looks like Caninana may clean this up, but then a scan gets dropped to force Caninana back a little bit. The Zerg has lost a base. ThomTest will have that second push coming in sometime soon.
Just able to pick off one roach before that scan disappears.
Yeah, the roach dying too is quite important because it seems Caninana isn't building anymore, I want to say. It's just pumping out lings.
Yeah, I think his logic is something along the lines of I want this many lings, and then I'll switch into roaches. So every time he loses lings, he'll replace the lings before building more roaches. Okay, I mean, he wasn't really saturated at the natural anyways, so losing that base is mostly just a hit to his larva.
Yeah. Yeah, and like, I mean, if Caninana can survive the next attack,
That's
it
a big
is
army.
it is a big army. So it's a big if Caninana can survive the next attack, but it's just got to hold on. It's the bot that has redundancy and great macro, so if the longer this game goes on, in theory, the better it is for Caninana. It's just got to survive this next wave. It's like wave defense. Come on, Caninana.
So he does have burrow roach movement now. It's gonna mean very hard for the scans to pick off the roaches. But I'm worried just about the army size, especially Caninana just doesn't fight.
Yeah.
Because obviously,
Army.
like the regen of the roaches, you don't regen if you never fight. You need to actually commit to taking a fight to take the damage and then
Yeah.
fill
Caninana
back
throws
up.
up an expansion. That's going to be canceled probably.
Does buy a little bit of time for the cost of a drone.
Oh boy. Spinecrawler inside the main base.
I'd love to see him commit when he's down to his final base. Just do it. Doesn't matter if you can't win the fight. Just do it anyways.
Yeah, it's just a little too passive. A scan gets dropped. The Zerg is just parking its units outside of this bio ball, very afraid to take the engagement. The lair goes down, and ThomTest is looking to go for the elimination as it sets to work on the last buildings of Caninana. I can't believe it.
Yeah, Caninana,
After-
Robots champion, will be knocked out in the Swiss format round.
Wow.
Well done, ThomTest. You did it.
GG there. That's a fantastic result for ThomTest. Well done. We'll see you in the quarterfinals. Caninana, that's got to be a huge upset. I mean, it's a huge upset in the first round. I don't know if it's as huge an upset here, but it's still very well done.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think Caninana probably needs to have his stack defense included in his calculation of when to attack and when not to. I've seen that calculation work out really well against, say, like Protoss, where he just doesn't engage until he has enough to overwhelm, and then he always overwhelms.
Yeah.
And then there's got to be some like final stand code as well. Like if
Yeah.
you're losing your last hatchery, you just gotta go. It doesn't matter if you don't have the
Definitely, yeah.
army to win the fight. You gotta at least try. Maybe pull the probes as well,
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just send everything you got at that
just in
point.
case your calculation is off.
Yeah.
And
That's,
sometimes like killing 2/3 of an army for the cost of yours is still useful, even if you lose your whole army, just because you may have a stronger follow-up.
yeah,
I don't know.
definitely.
But yeah, some things for Caninana to look at. And yeah, congratulations to ThomTest moving on to the quarterfinals.
Awesome. All right, next up we have 12 pool bots. Lost against Cena and Caninana, followed by victories against Theo and of course your bots in the first round. So yeah, looking to make the 0-2 to 2 to 3-2 comeback. And he is facing another bot that is also looking to do that. It is BenBotBC.
Imagine if we lost Caninana and BenBot to two cheesy bots.
Oh god. Yeah, this would be the carnage of the macro bots tonight if we did. But should be a fun
Yeah, this
game
will
though.
be. Yeah, it should be an interesting match. So 12 pill bot does have that roach rush that I don't believe he uses on ladder, so it could catch bots off guard, namely mine, but also maybe BenBotBC. I could also see the like a bunker contain being like a terrible idea versus
Oh yeah.
12 pill bot. So I'm not sure if BenBot tries to pull that off versus him or not. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this one turns out.
It should be a very interesting game. All right, let's get into it.
Let's go.
One sec.
Will be a nice story though to see BenBot go down 0-2 in the Swiss format and pull it back to a 3-2 to continue.
Yeah, definitely. Would be a fun story for either of them.
Yeah. BenBot showing us its chat tag, BOSBFE, which I don't know what it means, but I know it's not the usual chat tag we see from BenBot. So,
yeah. Well, we know he knows his opponent because he names the opponent there. BOSBFE. Fast expand? Probably all stands for something. Like the Z's probably Zerg. Build order. Zerg. Can I see it again? Bring up the chat. I think I'm going to solve this. B fast expand. Barracks fast expand. That's my guess.
okay.
For programmers, we need to abbreviate everything. Every keystroke matters.
Okay, racks in the base for BenBot. SCV Scout going out around the map, interestingly.
Yeah. Not to say he usually likes to look for proxies, but that's not much of a threat when you're facing Zerg. I mean, technically you can face proxy hatch, which I'd actually love to see in the bot meta. I think if I were just to make like a Zerg bot, I'd probably do something simple to start. And I love the idea of like the no gas proxy all in, where you just go pure spines and Zerglings. Feels like it wouldn't be the toughest thing in the world to code if you don't even have to worry about taking gas. Looks like he's setting up a wall at the natural, as we do have a bunker on the way. Lings are already crossing the map though, and that bunker will not be done in time. That depot raising will actually give some coverage to that SCV, however, depending on which side the map is on. And maybe even give time for that Marine to get in there. This is actually going to be a really tight timing here. Oh, but the Lings don't commit! They're afraid of a bunker that's in production.
Yeah, that is
SCVs
one
decided to come and pile in, which would have been nice had the Lings actually committed, but since they didn't commit, completely unnecessary. And this is looking fantastic for BenBotBC now. He does not have a complete wall, so the run by is available. However, I don't think that's something coded into 12-pool bot. Third Marine entering the bunker. SCV ready to repair on location.
BenBot's use of bunkers is very strong. I know it's difficult for bots to sort of be programmed around them. So, yeah, we've got more and more Lings being produced for 12-pool bot. No roaches or anything on the horizon.
Yeah. And even if he gets up to like 40 Lings and commits into that bunker, unless he wraps around that depot wall, he's only going to be able to have like 7 attacking at a time. And I think, you know, with a couple more SCVs coming down the ramp to help repair, I don't think he'll get through that bunker with just pure Ling. This is looking absolutely amazing for BenBotBC. We have noticed the issue of Ben 12-pool bot like not committing, but also stepping into enemy attack range often as well.
Yeah, classic bot mistake. How many Lings does 12-pool bot need before it decides to go?
Yeah, if it goes, it might have some success here though, because I bet those Marines will end up standing on the depots and preventing them from going up, and that'll allow a full surround of the bunker. But yeah, up to 3 Marines now. It's going to get to the point where these Marines are killing Zerglings as fast as the 12-pool bot is producing Zerglings.
Yeah.
So he needs to commit, otherwise like it's going to get to the point where these Zergling numbers are going to start decreasing, not increasing.
Yeah, that's wildly unfortunate, because like it's definitely got the numbers, I think. Like this is 40 Zerglings. It's no small amount, but
yeah, I think a literal A move might do the trick. That Widowmine's going to really cut into that number though. Yeah, because no ramp at the main base either. There was probably a point in this match where an A move might have won it, even with the bunker complete.
Oh, I agree, yeah.
Army supply is at 34, which makes me think, what's that, 68 Zerglings then? Well, maybe there's a couple queens out.
Yeah, I guess it's just a bug with 12 Toolbot where it's getting like new info as it pokes in, sees the bunker, and then for some reason decides not to fight that. The Widowmine burrows in the face of all the lings, and oh my gosh.
Yeah, I remember seeing this against who was a tier in the past, where it has the numbers but doesn't want to attack until it has more. So that calculation's a little bit off, I would say. It should be a little bit less conservative, I think. And then while it's waiting to move in, it's constantly stepping into attack range, which obviously the speed of speedlings means it should never actually have to step into attack range. Another big hit from the Widowmine. That Widowmine is up to probably about 40 kills now. Siege tank also blasting away. Yeah, like any moments that that there was a threat for 12 Phobot to win this, I think is come and gone.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're just gonna have to wait for BenBot to decide to attack eventually.
Yep. And BenBot is kind of aggressive with this Marine sometimes, so he may end up actually start pushing for victory. Either that or he's going to go up to like 7 bases and then finally push out. Depends which BenBot we get today.
Yeah, lings do actually get an engagement against these Marines.
Yeah, so that's where the calculation says we can win the fight.
It's
So
just
we
the bunker,
have three
I guess.
times the Zerglings as you have Marines.
Oh, and there's the Widowmines, and the thing. The lings will never break this, so.
I had a lot of trouble trying to micro Widowmines. The problem is you don't know when the game itself does the initial targeting.
Ah.
Because I always thought, like, target micro with Widowmines could be great, especially against human players. You can do that trick where you just never commit to shooting a Zergling, you wait for the Bailings to come in range. But I was never had any success coding that. I found out that whatever I coded was just worse than letting them do it on their own. Okay, so I think we're going to see a more defensive stance out of BenBotBC, so I might suggest going up to 2x, 4x speed for a little while.
I'm okay.
I do not think there's a way for Phobot to win this one.
Alright, place your bets on how many lings have died this game. I'm gonna say it'll end with like 248.
I'll take the over on that because this is BenBot. I'll take the over on 400, I think. BenBot is pushing out here, though.
Oh, there's the battle.
Oh, then, and of course the battle cruisers, right? Okay, maybe it won't reach 400 then if he has no economy. I forgot about the BCs. It's right in his name. Of course, those will jump across the map. Let's find a hidden base here. Oh, over 400 is pretty close then. I don't think I'll make any more lings, so 376 is probably the number.
Yeah, I don't think 12 Bullbot ever rebuilds in spawn.
384.
GG.
Oh, those poor lings. Yeah. 300 and, what was it, 370 odd in the end? But yeah.
384 it jumped to.
384, okay, alright.
So he got some more lings right before he died.
Poor guys. Oh well. Alright. Let's have a look at the next game, see if 12 Bullbot can come in and take the fight a bit earlier. It's definitely in its name. So...
Yeah, I mean, there is definitely windows there. Like, he arrived before the bunker was done, and then he also pulled up enough lings to just overwhelm the bunker later on, so... unfortunately, it's going to be hard to change his coding logic between games, but
yeah.
Maybe if he just had like 2 more lings or 4 more lings, like a scenario like that, and it would change the attack number, then maybe we'll see a difference in this game.
All right, let's take a look.
All right, facing elimination, spawning down in the bottom right, we have the bot with the fewest lines of code. It is 12 Bullbot. And spawning in the left-hand side, top left, we have the blue Terran, BenBotBC. He did go down as 0-2 in the Swiss format and is looking to come back and go 3-2 to make it to the quarterfinals.
Yeah, did we see a chat tag from BenBot? Oh, it looks like it's the same build anyway, so.
Yep, same chat tag, which I assume is the build order. Once again, seeing pool gas. Or sorry, it's barracks gas. Although we'll probably see pool gas as well. Yeah, there we go. 12 pool bet also has the Roach all-in build, which I totally forgot about. So we might be seeing a switch up to his other all-in. BenBot starting the wall at his natural base. 2 lings and a queen.
Yeah,
And okay, it's gonna be a Roach Warren. Okay, so here we go.
Cool.
So this will be a Roach all-in, which is a little different. It doesn't mean the bunker will be completely done by the time he arrives, but he'll have, I think, a little easier time breaking through the bunker with roaches over zerglings.
If it actually attacks, that's
That's going to be the big deal. Widow mines are also less of a factor. Instead of blowing up like 15 zerglings, it'll end up injuring 3 roaches. Roaches are actually a big pain for Terran, because Terran doesn't have like the best counter unit to Roach.
no.
And yet Roach is like a very cheap and low tech unit to build. If if someone does like one of those old school Stefano max outs, you have to have tanks and marauders.
Oh yeah.
Because Cyclones won't do the trick. Marauders alone won't do the trick.
Oh, yeah.
Marines obviously are terrible, and even with
Zerg
Stim.
can have 200 supply with roaches by the time Terran's at like 140,
Yeah,
depending on the openings. So it can be a little tricky.
it's the toughest thing for me to face with my Mass Raven play. It's just those early Roach max outs. Complete wall is done this time. I think the presence of Zerglings nearby was keeping BenBot from building more depots on the low ground last time. So that is nice, but there's actually the natural is not done for BenBotBC, which means there's no SCVs nearby that can repair. Roaches are hanging out just outside of range, waiting for more roaches to arrive. Marine does get a lot of view of what's coming.
Okay,
Does allow BenBot to tag it.
12 pool bot attack in? No, it's afraid of the bunker.
I don't mind that, because if you're gonna like overwhelm that bunker before,
Okay, it's
Repair
going
can
for
get
it. That
done?
Marine kind of pulls it forward. However, it is attacking supply depots instead of the bunker. But that bunker is losing HP. More SCVs come off the line to repair it. It's going to be close, but it does seem like there's
it's just
enough
gold, isn't it?
repair.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
those other
this is why I
roaches.
didn't mind. Oh,
Oh,
he pulled
it
back for a
goes
second.
down.
Yeah.
It must. Oh wow! So roaches are pushing on in, but now they're afraid of the Marines for some reason. Why?
Yeah, they can't. They don't want to attack yet, and then this is the issue with 12 full as he hangs out inside of attack range.
Oh, now there's
The
a
backup
tank.
bunker is actually done, and a siege tank, and the bunker in the front's going to be completed. So a completed wall with the bunker and a tank and a marauder. Nice adjustment out of BenBotBC when he did spot the tag the roach. I think that's when you decide to start going marauders, which obviously do double damage to armored units. Yeah. Because you really want to overwhelm the bunker almost instantaneously. That's why I kind of wanted him to like wait for a few more roaches.
Yeah.
And he did break it, but just, there wasn't anything left afterwards. And now there's a tank in a bunker, and I don't think he'll ever get the...
Yeah, it's
resources
just there
to
was
go
a
in.
time that there was only like 5 Marines and 5 roaches. Roaches would have won that fight, so it's a bit unfortunate.
And I think the way this build works is like the plan is to like go in with a bunch of roaches and then have like a swarming flood of lings to follow up because they can come
Yeah.
across the map faster. which makes a lot of sense unless your initial attack fails. Then you got the
Yeah.
swarm of lings that aren't too useful anymore instead of more roaches.
Yeah, I think BenBot's unbreakable wall has been pretty well established at this point, so
Yeah, you're definitely not getting through that. Full
I'm
wall,
okay
2
with
bunkers, siege tank, 2 marauders.
yeah, I'm
And I
okay
think
with
I wouldn't
fast
mind still
forwarding at this
existing.
point.
Yeah. What a turnaround for BenBotBC. Like, this tournament did not look like it was going to be his tournament. But he is the master of being counted out of tournaments and then just never getting knocked out.
Kills the rocks.
Yeah, that's interesting. It does mean that 12-hole bot will not be constantly losing units anymore. Because, like, the rocks are like, here, let me show you how to stay out of range.
I heard a
You know?
battle cruiser in 12 Pools main.
Yep. I think if I played Zerg, I'd do it this way. Less injects and just throw down more hatcheries.
Mass expanding for bots, I think, works pretty well. So
Yeah. But I mean, just for larva. Like, he's like, I'd probably do it like that as well.
oh,
Like, if you're
I
really
mean,
bad at
Lings-
macro, I bet more hatcheries is better than injecting.
those Lings actually just killed BenBot's ground army.
Yeah, that's something.
If only it could deal with the 4 battle cruisers.
Even though you open with the Rochelle in, I think you'll end up losing more Zerglings this game than in game 1. Yeah, already at 380. Just gotta lose 4 more. Oh, I think I lost another bet. Well done.
Yeah.
BenBotBC moving on to the quarters.
Yeah, amazing performance. Come back from 0-2 the first 2 rounds and end up going 3-0 and getting into quarterfinals. Should be a fun game. But yeah, unfortunately for 12 Pool Bot, it was also on the same run for him, and yeah, couldn't quite get it done. But always a fun bot to watch, and very efficient on the coding.
Yeah, you put it together a solidly timed all in. You'll see a lot of results on the ladder.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so it's our final game of the night, and we will see our returning champion for lots of times. It is Micro Machine. So
Yeah.
yeah, so come up against Theo, which beat Theo, lost to Xena, lost to Caninana, and I think that's a misprint there. He beat ThomTest 2-0 last week, so that was a fun one. Always a fun bot to watch. And up against our champion from, or the defeated bot from earlier in the game, SharpenedEdge. Can he come back and make it into?
It's gonna be a tough one.
It's gonna be a tough one for SharpenedEdge, yeah. So yeah. All right.
The last time SharpenedEdge was updated was back when Micro Machine lost to no one. So since that period of time, that era, Micro Machine has dropped off some, but
yeah. Tom's
Like,
asking why Micro Machine through. That's a typo. Sorry, he beat Tom ThomTest 2-0, not lost to him 2-0. So yeah. There we go. But yeah, it should be a fun game. All right, let's get into it. But yeah, SharpenedEdge has had a lot of success in the past, and you never know this spot. Share my screen.
Micro Machine has won so many of these tournaments that are SC2 AI done by, like, not the Probots ones so much, but like these ones. That even after he Long was no longer the top bot and Eris had taken over -0, we had one of these S2AI tournaments, and some out of the blue, Micro Machine came and won the whole thing again. He's just like, this is my tournament.
Yeah.
Micro Machine
Was he like a
is
9-time victor winner or something absolutely insane?
Yeah, it was like he won every tournament for like ages and ages. I don't know exactly how many in a row, but it was a lot.
Yeah. Anyways, introduce them. This is Micro Machine here, spawning in the bottom right-hand side of the map as the Red Terran. And as we see from the start of the stream, we once again have SharpenedEdge trying to change his luck as the blue Protoss. So I do know from the past, SharpenedEdge has a one-base Tempest play that's actually given a lot of headaches to Terran bots. So I'd love to see him pull out this one at some point in the match. I could see that having some success versus Micro Machine.
it definitely
But it's
does.
actually going to be a Micro Machine on the proxy here, as he's setting up a forward barracks as his second barracks. Interestingly enough.
Yeah, Marauders maybe.
I'm trying to recall. I think when he does proxy Marauder, he proxies 2 barracks. This might be his proxy Cyclone play.
Oh,
So back when, did you say? Oh, okay. Yeah, back when Micro Machine was being coded, where Cyclones required a tech lab. And actually, in current human ladder, they require a tech lab again, just not here. So the cool play with the barracks is you build it out on the map, and then you build a factory next to it, and the barracks can build a tech lab for it. It also allows you to proxy a Reaper beforehand, and then you can use the barracks as a spotter, because back in the good old days, and currently, Cyclones had 14 leash range, so it's more about can you maintain vision more than can you maintain the lock. However, I was completely wrong on that. This is going to be actually 2 racks Marauder, as we do a Concussion Shell and 2 tech labs.
yeah, Micro Machines Marauders are pretty lethal. So let's see. SharpenedEdge scouted it, saying, "Do you want a knife for that cheese?" I think it said, or something like that. Anyway, so that's the bot author letting us know that SharpenedEdge has scouted and deemed that there is cheese afoot, but defending against it is a completely different thing. SharpenedEdge is unfortunately floating lots of money here. It's a bit of a problem with the bot where it basically goes through steps and it will not sort of like throw down. If it's got extra money, it won't build extra stuff. Basically, it'll wait. So there'll be times where it's floating lots of money, and right now it's got 1 stalker on the way with 900 minerals in the bank.
Yeah.
No batteries, no cannons, nothing, and it's now being cheesed pretty hard.
If only he did what he did in the first series, where like he just built non-stop and made zealots, because zealots are pretty good against Marauder cheese, actually, especially if you got a couple stalkers behind.
Stalker on the high ground, 1 shot, and it's dead. However, there is a Void Ray on the way for SharpenedEdge, and that is pretty good against Marauders.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think this probably would have been the 1-base Tempest build, and it's not getting a chance to do what it does best. Because these Marauders, I think, are just going to go ahead and just decide to win the game here.
Yeah, it looks like it, as Micro Machine, ever lethal, has a command center on the way behind this, though, which is very cool to see. Just solid macro behind its cheese, and that Void Ray will try and shut this down.
Yeah, and there's actually like a decent amount of probes left, although the Marauders are going behind the base, which means these probes are not safe yet. Oh yeah, like every probe kill is massive.
Oh my
now.
gosh, yeah.
Like if you had like 10, 11 probes left, I think that's okay. But not, like, not 6 or 7.
Yeah, SharpenedEdge, just its money management isn't the best. Like, it's only got 1 probe and gas right now, despite having 1,200 minerals.
It is hard to adjust a build order. So he did spot that he was up against a 1-base in Terran. I'm guessing all those extra minerals is because he wanted to expand with this build, and then it's like, oh, now I can't expand, maybe. Yeah, or maybe it's just, yeah.
I think it is just really limited at times. Like, for example, when it does the Tempest build, it'll have like 1,000 minerals in the bank, and then it'll expand like 2 minutes later. It'll just wait for some reason, so it does lose a lot of efficiency, whereas it floats a lot of money. But who knows? Maybe SharpenedEdge can make a miracle happen. Micro Machine is still building Marauders, which the Void Ray can kill, but there's a Cyclone on the way, so.
Yeah, this is like the old Cyclone though, the one that's cheap and you can build from the reactor. So it's not good versus Void Rays at all. It's slower than a Void Ray and it dies really fast to a Void Ray. So it's not like the expensive Cyclone that like blind counters Void Rays. And like there's a whole bunch of Marauders that can't do much against Void Rays
Is
either.
it gonna be a fleet beacon? Yes, it is. So it is the Tempest build, but like,
Yeah, just based on no economy.
yeah, no economy. It's not even mining full bore on the gas, and then it's just
Yeah, just
waiting
getting
for
the gas guys.
So it's like Sharpened Edge definitely does have some big inefficiencies that like really
Here's the thing.
delays its builds.
Like he could have lost half of his workers and done fine with this build because he was floating 700 minerals,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
As long as you just saturate those gas geysers immediately, still only having 2 in gas, just so much priority to the minerals.
Yeah, that's why some bot authors have it programmed in their bot. Like if they have over X amount of minerals, but then no gas, or vice versa, then they'll make an adjustment on the workers. But Sharpened Edge doesn't have that, and like it's gonna probably throw down a Nexus in a minute or two when it says, "Hey, it's time to expand" or whatever. I'm guessing the 7-minute mark it'll throw down a Nexus, but it's like it could have thrown down 4 Nexuses earlier if it wanted to.
Looks like that guy's gonna get stuck. Yeah. Oh, he made it out though. Void Rays do not do well versus light units.
Okay, Micro Machine's deciding to attack now. As that red blob moves across the map.
Is that the 1 Viking and 1 Cyclone and 1 Marine?
Yeah, a few
2
Marines circled in there.
The thing is though, like he can eliminate. He can just ignore the area units and eliminate them. However,
Yeah,
it
we'll
looks
see if it
a little
actually
afraid.
does. Micro Machine cancels the offensive, so that is going to give Sharpened Edge more time to live, but Sharpened Edge now throws up that Nexus, throws up 4 gateways.
Yeah.
That's something that we see quite often from Sharpened Edge, is like it could have built those a long time ago.
Yeah, probably transitioning from like a hard-coded part of his build order into the more generic parts for later in the game. Yeah, it's a very close fight, wasn't it? Yeah, and once you saw the Tempest, you could see the production tab totally change for Micro Machine. Now he's building 2 Vikings at a time. He's building a Cyclone non-stop out of the factory. So the air versus anti-air advantage that Sharpened Edge had is disappearing. Would love to see the Void Ray stick with the Tempest though, just in case the Vikings try to dive on the Tempest. You want to see that Void Ray in the prismatic alignment defend it. Because there is a small hope of like if you get up to enough Tempests.
Oh yeah,
constantly kiting from 10 range, it becomes a nightmare to deal with.
there is absolutely a chance here for Sharpened Edge. It's not a great chance, but crazier things have happened in bot games, as Micro Machine has got Marauders getting shot by Tempests, which isn't great. But the Terran bot does have incredible macro. It's on 3 bases behind this, so it will be able to produce more than Sharpened Edge. Sharpened Edge is really attacking in as well, committing in with its Tempest, which unfortunately do go down. Protoss bot is now spamming out Zealots.
That's Stim Marine as well, so once those Tempests are caught out in the open, the fast moving speed of the Marines gets to get right on top of them. And not so great kiting out of the Tempest either, unfortunately. I guess the more advanced behavior we haven't really seen out of Tempest in the bot meta is like really trying to use terrain to your advantage, especially when you're facing ground-based anti-air.
Yeah,
of course, anything terrain-related is a nightmare to code, but
I imagine so. And
we got some advanced authors; they could probably figure it out. Landed Vikings, you don't see that very often. Micro Machine can do it.
Yep, Micro Machine uses everything it possibly can. GG.
Landing Vikings is one of those things you can't like half-ass your coding of, because it's only going to hurt you.
Yeah.
You gotta It's gotta be like useful like 80% of the time. Otherwise, you're just gonna throw away all your anti-air army.
Yeah.
I guess just check that there's no air units around or something for starters, and then it's like, all right, I guess it's all right to land them.
Yeah, Micro Machine can do pretty much anything it chooses, though. So, yeah, no, it's a brilliant bot, and hopefully we might be able to see some more of it later in the tournament. But let's have a look at game 2, and Micro Machine on the verge of qualifying for the quarterfinals again. Wouldn't be the first time. Let's go.
Okay, automaton again. It's
Proxy
finally on the
Marauders.
left-hand side. It is Micro Machine going for the Proxy Marauders again. Yeah, why not? Don't break what already works.
I mean, it says that Sharpened Edge wins like a fifth of those, fourth. Yeah, I'd say almost a fourth of those games. So there's a chance.
Yeah, and SharpenedEdge definitely has multiple builds. Let's see if he actually switches it up or not. And honestly, last game was looking okay. When you're going Stargate against mass marauders, like you got to make a lot of mistakes to get in trouble with that. And unfortunately, there were a lot of mistakes made. But if some of those didn't happen, like if he saves like 15 probes, or if he saturates his gas earlier for some reason, then all of a sudden Stargate play will be really good against mass marauder. So there we go. This proxy rack's going up with the main racks in the main base. Gateway about to complete for Sharpened Edge.
It's like a probe is scouting out for Sharpened Edge. I'm guessing it's going for Tempest again, if I had to put money on it, but we'll see.
If he is, I would love to see that second gas be taken immediately. No, there's an expansion out of Sharpened Edge.
Oh, wow. Okay, so changing the build-up.
Yeah. So I wonder if like last time, it may even be the same build, but last time he spotted something that made him not want to expand.
Yeah, there was a chat tag saying, talking about the cheese, so it's weird that Sharpened Edge hasn't printed that this match, because like last match it was like, oh, I'm getting cheesed. This match it hasn't at all, and which is weird because I think it scouted pretty much like the exact same thing, so I don't know what that is because I don't think it saw the racks last time. Maybe it did, and I'm wrong, but
yeah. Well, I mean, it doesn't look like the cheesiest space you've ever seen. The Tech
no,
Lab
but
barracks is weird, but I'm sure bots don't have very complex decisions. Like I went into his base, he has a barracks, therefore I'm not being cheesed. Maybe something.
It did identify it last time, though, is all I'm saying. So it.
I think he doesn't know where his main ramp is. His problem as well, because all of his production is shield battery way in the back corner of his base for some reason.
Yeah, that's not ideal.
Automaton being the devil again. Single stalker versus marauder is not going to be good for the stalker, especially the concussive shells.
I mean, it's actually going all right for the stalker.
I don't know what happened there. Why did that work out? Anyways, Marauder 2 should get the job done.
Yeah, that poor stalker.
I mean, they both do bonus damage to each other, but Marauders are just so much more bonus damage. And since they can't shoot up, they're also much better versus ground in general.
Yeah, Stalker getting worked on. We do have a Stargate on the way for Sharpened Edge.
Yeah, but only just started, unfortunately, so I think this expansion is certainly going to die. Let's see if it's just the expansion or if it's going to be everything.
Yeah, it's trying to buy time. Probes are running for their lives. Although then they can just scatter. Zealot coming down, that'll buy a little bit of time against the Marauders.
That's all they'll do, though. Slow Zealots are already bad enough, but then, yeah, I think Concussive Shell.
Like, we saw the win rates. Sharpened Edge wins some of these games, so something's got to happen sometimes that does give it success. It goes for an Oracle.
Yeah, that's not gonna work.
Producing 2
Kind of need
Zealots at
that
a time.
constant damage. You don't want an energy-based unit.
Yeah.
Somehow that
yeah.
Nexus survived, which is hilarious.
Void
Although
Rays
the
actually...
Zealot might... Go ahead.
Oh, no, just that Void Rays deal bonus damage to Marauders, whereas Oracles definitely don't.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, Micro Machine canceling its offensive. Maybe seeing that Oracle said, okay, I gotta go defend or something. Or just thinking it doesn't have any anti-air, but it's very much not really canceling that offensive. At least some of these Marauders are hanging out.
Yeah, he's probably trying to transition now back at home. I think these Marauders will stay on the offense, however.
Yeah, and SharpenedEdge is dead.
Super dead. That Nexus may finally die. He actually regenerated about 100 shields with no health before it went down.
Okay, so Micro Machine lives to fight another day.
Did the Oracle get a kill? We'll never know. Why is he not dead? Oh, he hasn't found the stuff in the corner of the base yet. He has to wait to be revealed. There we go. The hidden production.
GG.
All right, nice work there from Micro Machine. We will be seeing him in the quarterfinals. So
Nice.
yeah, let's have a look. 1 second. So we and yeah, so our quarterfinal draw. For first seeds, we have Eris and Xena. They will be forced apart. They will face either one of ThomTest, BenBotBC, or Micro Machine. And then the remaining draw, we have -0, Zozo, Sharkbot, and and we also have the other bot that doesn't get drawn from the other two. So we're going to have quite a complex draw here, guys, for the quarterfinals. Stay with us. It's coming up.
I like this mix of bots, actually. We got
Yeah.
We got some fresh faces. We got some really powerful cheese bots, and then we got like all the classic like powerhouses. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
this will be good.
All right. I will. I'm gonna have to turn the blur off on my screen again so people can see the draw. Which again, apologies for the shitty room because everything's compressed because I didn't actually sort out my shit from last week. So. All right.
Sorry,
I still haven't done
you're-
my
you're
weekend
busy.
chores yet.
Oh yeah, I know. All right. Give me 1 second. That's the wrong one. How does Discord work again? That's weird. That's not coming up. Discord is being weird, guys. 1 second. I have to turn it off and turn back on again.
You can do change video background if you... It's the little button by the camera icon.
Yeah. No, I'm trying that, and it's coming up with a button saying change background, and then it's not doing it. So hold on 1 second. I'm gonna have to just do settings, this video, and then background none. Okay, that works. And now you see my shitty room and another kid not laying on the bed. All right. So the way the draws works, the first draw up is for the top 2 bots. So that will be number 1 will be Eris and number 2 will be Xena. And looks like I only need 2 bunnies, which means most of these are coming out. So we'll need number 2 in there. That's that one. And we also have number 1. And all the other bunnies that have to go on the side. Okay, so very short draw, but we will get all there. And so for the top of the draw, it will be number 1. So Eris will go on to the top. And that means that -0 will be at the bottom of the draw. Okay, first draw done. Next up. So let's have a look. So number 1 will be ThomTest. Number 2 will be BenBotBC. And number 3 will be Micro Machine.
And they are drawing against.
So the first bot drawn will face Eris. The second bot drawn will face -0. And the bot that is not drawn will go into the remaining draw. So,
Okay.
Okay.
So if you finish like 3-0, you get the advantage of facing a 3-2 bot.
Yes.
That's basically
Yeah,
how this
exactly. Yeah.
lineup is going to start.
Yeah. So the
Yeah, that makes
super-
Some sort of advantage to getting out of the Swiss format early.
Yeah. So we'll face the first bot. It's going to be number 2. So facing Eris will be BenBotBC.
Ooh,
That'll be a
that's
nice
gonna
match.
be a hard one.
yeah.
Laughing
This
Games
is
casted a game
Yeah.
on his channel that was posted recently that BenBob was actually putting up a decent fight against Eris. So
And
a long game.
the next one to face up against Zozo will be number 1. That will be ThomTest. So
okay.
so
I actually don't know how ThomTest does against Zozo. That's going to be interesting.
yeah, should be a fun one.
So they both get to update, which is a big
Yeah.
deal because I think in my head, ThomTest would be the perfect bot to slaughter Zozo.
Yeah.
I think if they played just right now, like I think ThomTest would do quite all right.
Yeah.
Although it depends how early those zealots hit, actually. So maybe if he doesn't have a wall and he's still building the reactor on his
Yeah.
barracks, I don't know. But they both get to
Yeah.
update, so who knows what we'll see.
Yeah.
The spawns could matter. Yeah, who knows? Like that's why I've really been looking forward to when the bot authors do get to push an update. 'Cause,
Alright. So that means that Micro Machine will go into the remaining draw. And sorry, doing this on the fly. So now I've just lost my thing entirely. Alright. So the remaining draw, let's just get that up on screen. So number 1 will be -0. Number 2 will be Zozo. Number 3 will be Sharkbot, and number 4 will be Micro Machine. So let's have a look. Okay, so we already have number 3 in there from the last one. We need number 1 and 2 and 4. Okay, so let's see who the bunnies are favouring tonight. I should just get the other thing up as well so you can see. So, first up, it is number 1, -0. And -0 will be facing up against number 4, Micro Machine. So that means
Micro Machine against who? Sorry? I missed that.
-0 versus Micro Machine.
Okay.
And
okay, yeah. People in chat are saying, isn't it Xena versus ThomTest, not Zozo versus ThomTest?
Yeah, it's not Zozo, that's for sure.
Xena, yes, sorry,
Okay.
yeah. So
Okay, my mistake.
number 2 is Zozo. And up
Oh, okay.
against
So the
number
previous
3.
time we said Zozo was wrong.
Sorry,
It's
yeah.
Xena.
I
Okay,
get
gotcha.
confused between Zozo and Xena. But yes, number 3 is Sharkbot there. All right, so we
Okay.
have our draw. Just give me 1 minute to fill it in, and I will be with you guys. But yeah.
That's
So
interesting.
should be a fun
So
one.
ThomTest and Zozo are one basing bots, and they're facing like 2 veteran bots that often cheese themselves. So we might see like cheese versus a strong defender, or we might see cheese versus cheese.
Yeah, it's gonna be very cool to see.
And honestly, even though Xena and Sharkbot are more accomplished bots, I bet their cheese isn't as strong as ThomTest and Zozo's. So if it's cheese versus cheese,
Okay.
I actually prefer I put my money on the newer bots.
Yeah. No, it should be some fun games. So, and just putting in the bracket for you, and then we'll just confirm everything. Will just be 1 second.
Lyle has the same headphones as me.
Yeah.
I like these because they're light as a feather. Decent sound quality, cheap, and light.
Yeah.
Those are my 3 requirements for headphones.
I just still wear earbuds from when I wore glasses 10 years ago.
Yeah. I don't have like Bluetooth on my, or maybe I do. I do have a new computer.
Oh,
I don't think I have Bluetooth on my computer, so I don't need to use my old wired ones.
Oh yeah, I just use wired earbuds and the mic because headphone earmuffs always hurt too much wearing glasses. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just to confirm, the next round is single elimination best of 3 for the round of 8.
It's best of 5 from now on.
Okay, cool.
So yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Quarterfinals. So that's 4, 2, and 1. So we have 9 more best of 5s.
9 more best of 5s. Yes. So there we go. That's the bracket.
No, 7 more. Okay.
So it's going to be Eris versus BenBotBC. Could be -0 versus Eris semi-final, which will be good. But
okay, there's the bracket. Yeah.
Yeah.
A 3rd place match. Okay, nice.
Yeah. So we've got Zozo versus Sharkbots, and then Xena and ThomTest in the other side of the bracket. Again, we've got some really strong bots there, and it's going to be fun.
Yeah. -0 in Eris.
Yeah, I was about to say congratulations to those in the bottom of the bracket who
that's the way it goes.
You don't have to go through
sometimes.
Micah Machine, Eris, and -0. He just one of them.
Yeah. Although you've still got Sharkbot and Zozo in there, and Xena, of course, which is massive threats. So yeah.
Oh my gosh, what if BenBot made it out? I could see him doing it too.
Anything can happen with.
I know.
People
like if there's a one
to...
bot to pull off a big upset, it's definitely going to be BenBot.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a best of 5, so.
Yeah, that's tougher. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how much work everyone does and who, like, whether there's snipes or just general improvements to their bots.
That is the scariest thing about Eris too, is that he never has to pull it out of his bag of tricks, but he has snipes. He's got snipes built in there.
Yeah.
If things aren't going well in the best of 5, you can guarantee that Eris is going to pull out something funky.
Yeah.
And that's
a very famous snipe once that we don't talk about anymore, but.
Yeah. Even as like Spiny, he was like the first one to like crush Micah Machine with some cool play. Like actually, he was probably the first one to use Bro Roaches.
He was, yes. I remember the tournament he brought
it out. Bro Roachel and they beat Micah Machine way back in the day.
The Broach.
The Bro Challenge.
Yeah.
The Bro Roach.
Bro Roach. Yeah, they are. Brilliant.
Yeah. The approach to a best of 5 is something very interesting for the bot authors to have to do, because like you absolutely want to have some variety, right, going forward, because otherwise if someone comes up with a snipe that works against your bot, you might just get 3-0'd. So
yeah,
variety
definitely.
I think is probably the key, right?
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a minimum, like, you get to at least try out like 3 different ideas if you have 3 ideas to try, which is nice.
All right. So yeah, the update deadline is Tuesday, and we will be showing the quarterfinals next week, so it should be a good one. So I will message bot authors with details of how to upload tomorrow morning as soon as I wake up, because it's getting late here. And yeah, so congratulations to everyone that made it through, and commiserations to those that didn't. They're still amazing, great bots, and we've seen some really top class bots being knocked out in the round of 16. So it should be fun quarterfinals. And I think we're going to have to leave it there for tonight. So thank you very much, Ketrock and Laughing Games, for joining us again.
Thank you so much for having me.
Hope to see
Yeah,
you
that was awesome.
next week. And thanks everyone for tuning in. And we'll see you soon. Bye.
See you guys.
Okay, bye-bye, everyone.
Ah.